Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Good afternoon, or morning, or evening. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 highly effective habits of very successful people. Number 1, get up and get out of bed. Number 2, get to work. Number 3, see number 1. My titles of my videos have to attract attention. The message is always very, very, very clear, and I'm not really the kind of guy that's going to sit here and try to go down a list of all the things that you need to change about yourself or the way you do things to be successful. There are a lot of things that you have to do differently to achieve a measure of success, and that measure is entirely up to you. What you have to change about you, I can only guess, I can only assume. I could sit here and say all the things that you would have to do to be a better you. First of all the people, all the motivational speakers, all the hubbub in the world can't tell anybody anything about you. You're the only one that understands if you need to make a change, if you're doing something and it's not accomplishing what you think it should, you simply need to do it differently. That's the definition of insanity. I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over, and I'm going to expect a different result. That is crazy. I do things the way I want them done, right or wrong. And when I do something and it doesn't come out right, I don't get the perceived, the overall goal. Listen, there's 1,000 ways to say everything that we do is either wrong or right, and that's it, right? And there are so many thousands of variations of the way anything can be done. Nothing is set in stone. The way I pack a box, the way I source material, the things that I say, the things that I talk about, the things that I do can't be duplicated. And when it comes down to talking about products, it's all about ideas. As we're having this discussion, you and I, right now, what I'm thinking about is, how come there's not 1,000 different companies that make lenses for that camera right there? And how would I manufacture that? Do I need to hire an engineer? What is the machinery going to look like? What is the marketing? What's it going to take to enter that space, right? I'm shooting on a Canon camera. Is Canon going to go crazy because I'm going to build a lens, it's going to interface with their camera, and all of a sudden I'm going to be into a legal situation because their camera is software driven and it's got a proprietary attachment, and that if they don't approve me? These are all the things that I'm thinking about while we're having this conversation on how to be a better you, or how for you to make more money. Everybody starts off wanting to make more money. We all want to make more money. And everybody wants to make money like they want me to give them some magical fairy dust way to sprinkle it, wave the magic word, abracadabra, alakazam, whatever your magic words are. And poof, you're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to have $1,000 in your pocket. Well, again, for you to get on eBay or start reselling online, or Amazon or Shopify or Poshmark or Mercari or Vineyard, there's like 50 online marketplaces. A lot of them are for clothes. There's Rakuten and Buy.com, and there's Walmart's marketplace and Sears marketplace. I could keep going. There's hundreds and hundreds of marketplaces. Traffic is very bad, and it's 4:20 in the afternoon. There are hundreds of marketplaces. And I've said it before, when you get into products, What are you interested in? Are you interested in cars? All of a sudden, you're going to be a car parts genius. That's what you need. You need to suddenly realize, one morning you wake up and you go, you know, I don't see very many people selling headrests for any type of cars. What if somebody wanted a new headrest? The reason I bring that up about the headrest is because a few people leave comments about my headrest seems to be in the wrong spot. Well, I like my where I can see I can take a nap right here. Look how comfortable I am. Right, okay. Anyway, so maybe we're going to sell headrests. I don't know. When I start talking about products and whether I just said what it would take to manufacture, get into the engineering and manufacturing and design of a camera lens, because I was going to enter that space. Well, that would be completely absurd for me to even think for a second that I could get into that space, because that's $1 billion space. Oh, would I love to? Absolutely. But I get down to the nuts and bolts and I think, okay, so let's say I hire an engineer and we design, we get all the CAD stuff done, we go out, we get in all the machinery, and we produce a lens and we manufacture it. Okay, that's kind of broad. My biggest question is, once I've done that, what happens to the engineer? Right? What did I pay this guy to design this lens? Did I just hire him on a contract basis because I just needed that information? So it would cost me way more to get it done versus if I hired a guy full time. And then if so, are we going to be able to come up with other products? Are there going to be other lenses? How far can it go? These are just preliminary ideas, just right off the top of my head. This is more of what I talk about, ideas. Everybody's got ideas. Can you make them work? The buzzword, execution. Such a buzzword. I love buzzwords. That's about right. It's about right, because buzzwords in a year is going to be a whole new. I think like 5 years ago the buzzword was get her done. So am I going to get an engineer and we're going to get her done? And now this year it's, well, I'm going to get an engineer and we're going to execute. We're going to put our plan of action together, our POA. And then we're going to be verifying it using our KPIs. Yeah. Really what it comes down to is, how big a job are you talking? When you start off with an idea, is your idea executable? Well, you don't know until you start working it out. And there's a point where I don't even understand when you get into the actual fine point of manufacturing. What does that really look like, right? Well, I actually do understand manufacturing. And all the way from the engineering point, the design aspect of it, when you get into dealing with the microconductors and the semiconductors to be able to make a lens function automatically, I got it. Could I put it all together? Probably not. Without a team of people. And then that goes back to hiring the right people to put together a team to accomplish something for the greater good. The greater good. Money, having money and the freedom to explore your ideas is always about the greater good. Like the lens on this camera that I'm using right now, to me, was very expensive, disgustingly expensive, and it was $600. And that's crazy. It's a very special lens. It gives me a very special angle, autofocuses, it does some wonderful things. It makes me look so pretty. See, here I am. And I think a lot of people would like to have a really nice lens to create a similar effect, but they don't have $600 to spend. Not initially. Because if you bought the lens and all of a sudden you're taking these amazing pictures and you're selling your pictures online, or you're sending it into the local news station and suddenly they're buying all this from you, then that $300 lens is generating you an income. And suddenly you have a secondary income that you didn't have until you took a chance on that lens. And there you have it. from the beginning to the end, the 3 habits of highly successful people has very little to do with anything, doesn't it? And every time you listen to one of these motivational speakers and they talk about how to change. So the biggest change for me was simply to raise my standards. There was a point where I didn't care. I didn't care what anybody thought. Didn't matter. What other people think about me or what I'm doing, it doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. Doesn't matter. But the truth is, it did matter. I was just too naive to understand. Ignorance is no excuse, ever. When you see other people doing something, you have to be able to see through it. Is it right or wrong? Is it a gray area? You can look at people all around in all walks of life and start coming to a conclusion. And a conclusion is simply the point where you stop thinking about that question. I've come to a conclusion. This is it. This is my thought on the subject. Do I really think any one of these YouTubers, this is my favorite topic, is doing 3 or 4 or 5 or $20 million a year in sales? I don't. Whatever. Listen. These are all the points to be able to see it, right? When we're watching YouTube, I'm watching the pranks channels, and I'm watching the comedy skits, and I'm watching adorable kitty cats, and I'm watching dogs jumping on trampolines, because all that stuff it's awesome and it's fun. And then you go to one of these YouTube channels where some guy says, how to make $1 million. It's clickbait to get somebody to watch the video. And did that guy provide some information or a lot of information? And a lot of the information you have to be able to put together your own way. Like, you know, me giving you a complete instruction manual on how to live or be a better person. No, that's my version of being a better person. Every one of us are already awesome. We're already awesome people, right? Sometimes it's just a matter of seeing things that you don't normally see. Through the, I'm stressed out and I can't pay my bills, versus I make plenty of money and I see the world through rose-colored glasses. Well, my glasses are not rose-colored. And that's the difference. I don't look through stress where I'm worried about paying my bills. When you reach that point, things become more clear. Right now, you're simply saying, man, I just want to make an extra $500 a month. Could you get to the point? The point is, to make $500 extra a month is no more than Saturday and Sunday going and washing your neighbor's cars. And you know what? If you don't live in a neighborhood where your neighbors want their cars washed, go to a neighborhood where they do want them washed. Go and spend $10 to get some business cards made, buy yourself some rags and a bucket of water. Everybody can hate on this if they want to. But let me tell you something. I washed plenty of cars and I mowed plenty of lawns. Because when I needed to make money, to have to reinvest, to buy something, there's only one way to get it. And it wasn't to buy it and put it on eBay and wait for somebody to click buy it now. There is no magic answer. Maybe the title of this video is There's No Magic Way to Make Money. It doesn't really matter. You have to be able to look at the most obvious space to make a determination. What is a necessity? Necessity versus a want. A want versus a need. The very first thing I ever learned, Sales 101, when you are pitching a product, when you are pitching a thing, a widget, a whatchamacallit, is it a want or a need? If I'm I'm going to pitch a need. Everybody needs cell phone chargers, don't they? Everybody wants a cell phone case. That's my lesson. That's it. That's your tidbit today. The message is over. I'm Dave. This was Drive Time, and I'll see you soon.